For 50 years, Clannad has taken their signature sound from the Donegal Gaeltacht to concert halls across the world, picking up numerous awards and selling over 15 million albums along the way. Today in the RDS in Dublin, they join musicians from the RTÉ Concert Orchestra to perform some of their favourite songs.
This is really special. I mean, a lot of the music that down through the years that we've done kind of lends itself very much to that kind of sound. So to do it and have the backing of the orchestra right behind you, it's really amazing.
What band wouldn't want to play with an orchestra at some time in their career? It's a blast, really, to hear everything come together.
It's fantastic to hear real strings and real parts. Brilliant, you know.
Okay, good morning. We start with a Celtic Dream, please.
People ask us, you know, where did we get the sound? And you just look around you and you can hear the earthiness, the harmonies, you can hear it all. And we allowed it to be part of us.
The sound that we eventually got and worked on, the space was the inspiration we got from our surroundings, you know. I don't need to be in Donegal to have the sense of it.
Well, I wanted to be in a band anyway. I was the one that really tried to hold everybody together, and not necessarily a family band, but that's a long story.
My father said, well, give it a try, lads. But the trial lasted 50 years, so I mean, it's a pity he wasn't alive to see that we're still on the road, yeah.
Clannad is made up of 3 siblings. Moya Brennan, the eldest, her brother Paul, her other brother Ciarán, and uncle Noel O'Dugan. Noel's twin Padraig, the 5th member of the band, passed away in 2016. No child in the Brennan family escaped the church choir, as their mom was head and tail of it. All 9 children grew up immersed in music, and today I meet the matriarch of the Brennans, as well as other siblings.
Oh, years ago, I was in charge of the little choir here. I got them together, and then a few years after that, and I was taken down to Gweedore, to the big one. And I was very honoured, yeah, by the bishop, yeah. I did teach them a lot, you know. First of all, to stop talking while I'm talking. That was the big one.
Keeping it in the family, Baba has since passed the mantle of choir director to her daughter, Brídín.
It's a second nature to us. When we hear a song, we hear the harmony to go with it, and that's how Mum and Dad trained us.
Did the music in the church and in the choir, did that go hand in hand with the music that you were singing at home? Was it all part of the one?
No, not really. No, not really. I had to learn myself, and when I started playing in the church, I had to learn. But singing with the children at home, who had little songs that we started off, you know. Oh, hey, Jerry, Seagull, she's Clannad here.
Cadan Counchin, Abra Counchin.
Oh, he, Jerry, Seagull, she's Clannad here. Oh, he, Jerry, Seagull, she's Clannad here.
Everyone in this family seems to sing at the drop of a hat. No wonder she'll Meenaleck, and it comes from both sides.
We had an all-family dance band. My father, my mother, my 2 brothers, my sister and myself. My mum played the drums, yes. My dad the piano. My brother the trumpet. My other brother an accordion. myself an accordion, Rosemary an accordion. That was the Slífáid, the original Slífáid.
Having met on the dance floor, Baba joined Leo in marriage and on the road.
There had to be 8 of us in the band before they would get paid. And of course they needed a pianist. And I could play a little bit and I joined them there for a few years.
Have I told you lately how I love you? Could I tell you once again somehow?
Isn't that special, though?
Very special.
Could be session or DVD.
I think I was 5 months pregnant there.
I think you were pregnant most of your life because you were having 9 kids. I'll tell you, you were a fine couple. We used to just sit there and our mouths open and just in awe every time you would join Daddy on stage.
It's a lovely memory as well.
It's a lovely memory, yeah.
The local theatre in Gweedore plays a central role in such a remote location. And for some once aspiring performers, it was a place where magic happened and dreams began.
This is it, our first stage, effectively. My mum would have been doing all the musical planning here, putting all the songs together, and we'd be down day and night when we were getting ready to do shows, you know. And my grandfather was involved in some of the writing of some of the plays.
But also a panto as Gaeilge.
Yes.
Ní cleachtan muide.
And there was always a pop scene in the panto, and we'd be dressed up, ready to go. And Moya was the leading lady, and Noel was the lady. You know, we were just growing up, you know. They were in their teens.
But a lovely experience, though, in your childhood. You know, part of growing up is being part of a theatre, a local theatre.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
Absolutely. It was magical.
Oh, look at this. This is me as a fairy in the pantomime in Gweedore. I used to do, every second week, I used to do ballet dancing and Irish dancing. That's Ciarán, myself and Paul down on Gweedore Beach with the tin of Cowan Gate. Having great fun. And that's Ciarán and I on the lawn at our early age singing a song. Or attempting to sing anyway, I think. Okay. And this is us. This is in the family. And we used to enter as a family singing harmony songs and that. And there weren't any other families in against us, so we'd always win it. But that's Ciarán and Paul, myself, my sister Deirdre, who's now an artist, Enya, and Leon.
We were born in this amazing area with tradition and folk songs, but we were classically trained as well. And then my dad had all these jazz-influenced band, Glenn Miller type things, so the effect of the music on us.
When the bright lights began to fade in the dance halls of Ireland in the late 60s, Leo and Baba took a gamble and bought a pub. Instantly, the music here became a big audience attraction.
It was the first singing pub in the area, and of course, from the word go, it was packed and pretty sensational. We used to have the doors closed at 9 o'clock at night because there was no room for any more people in the pub.
Well, when my father bought the pub in 1968, and I was 14, and we were helping out, we basically became his backing band in the summertime especially. So we sang everything, and every key and every kind of song, ballads, the works, musicals. And then we did a spot for half an hour and sang Joni Mitchell and Beach Boys and Beatles. We used to work in here, so I mean, after we cleared up and everything, we'd switch on the amplifiers and the whole thing and start rehearsing. And sometimes there'd be chairs flying, arguments, but we just jam, and that's the way it evolved.
That's the way.
It was a case of the four boys. We were playing music together before Moya became a part of Clannad. So I was the lead singer in Slogus, Shartwa and all of that, singing Beach Boy songs in Gaelic. When Moya joined, obviously the sound changed completely. There was a girl vocal, there was a harp. You know, it added a whole different sound, and that was really, really the beginning of the band, really.
When I started to play with the boys, I got into just the feeling and it just becoming part of the arrangement of the music rather than a specific, you know, backing for a song, you know.
We started to think about the area, I suppose, from listening to bands like Pentangle in England and Steel Eye Span, you know, drinking songs and farmer songs from their areas. So I started, and the rest of the family, looking around for what's around our areas.
We just saw it generally as just great music. So we'd be up and we'd be singing songs, and next thing you'd include a Gaelic song. And it was really funny, the locals used to kind of turn their back, you know, because it was an embarrassment. You're talking about late 60s, early 70s.
Now, is that from a purist perspective, or they just couldn't relate to it?
No, they regarded it, I mean, going back then, they regarded it as a poor man's language.
However, one big fan, the local sergeant, urged the group to enter a competition at the Letterkenny Folk Festival, even hand-delivering an entry form to the pub.
And the day before we had to have the entry form in, Pedro came out with it. He says, "Oh, look what I found." And he said, "Should we just put our name down and just anyway, and then we can decide whether we want to do it or not." So we said, "Okay, right. Let's fill the form in." So we started to fill the form in, and we could see the post van coming all the way from Dunlow, Annagray, meandering his way there, and we were there filling in the form. And we looked at each other and we said, you know, what do we call ourselves? And my grandfather, he turned and he says, Clan Astor, which is Clan from door. And we said, Asta, maybe it's a bit awkward. So he says, okay, take the abbreviations from As and D and Clannad. We looked at him, we said, that's grand. That'll do us for a while.
We didn't think we were going to win it because the bands that we were in against we saw as professional bands. So we were a summer band, you know.
Winning that competition, what did that mean to you?
I will never forget holding my mum's hand and being up on the balcony, and when they announced that we'd won, I just froze. And I still have the feeling, I still feel that feeling of just like, wow. I just, you know, it's still one of the most memorable feelings I will ever, you know, ever have.
The prize for Letterkenny was to record an album with Philips Ireland. In 1973, the self-titled debut album was released, featuring mainly folk songs of Scoilge, as well as this Beatles-inspired number written by Paul and the late Padraig. An album of mainly songs of Scoilge, however, was not exactly a calling card for gigs in Ireland.
We found it hard, yeah, for sure. And singing in Gaelic made it doubly hard, you know, with that thing. because we weren't singing the normal ballad songs, and that was a big trend in the 70s, we suffered.
We were after warning Sligo, and we were invited to this club in Dublin. I won't mention it. And we started plugging in. I had an electric guitar, and all the fiddle players and all the pianos people were in, and they walked out.
This kind of response didn't bother the band too much, as they continued to collect old songs around their local area.
And heading out to Tory when you were younger, Ciarán, what was that like? Was that a bit of an adventure, or were you going on a mission?
It certainly was an adventure when the waves were that high.
All seasick.
It was unbelievable, some of the excursions we took.
Oh, yeah.
But you were very forward-thinking, like you knew what you were doing. You were collecting songs, no?
Yeah. But only we were kind of half related to them. They took us in, but if you're a stranger there, you might be out camping or somewhere.
Yeah, they wouldn't be as flahuel.
Flahuel, yeah. Well, we didn't have the modern technology, but we had this big reel-to-reel thing, and it's
to record everybody.
To record
yeah.
it was.
We were young and, you know, trying to make our way, and they loved it, and they were handing it over to us in trust. Ciarán was very front foot with the sort of arrangement stuff, and so when we were practicing a new song or whatever, bringing our own instruments in, it would be trial and error, working parts. We would work together, then Noel would work with Ciarán. You know, it was all of that.
Tory Island was a huge influence. Is there any one song from Tory that you really like?
I suppose the Bohily Eiling is a great song that all about fellas that went to Scotland to earn a living. And I arranged something for Moya. It was like,
they began to create and make their own was a natural and organic process.
We're looking for the colours. So who's bringing what? Moya, that's a harp, use that. And then is there a flute? Is there a bongo? So I was filling in the gaps in terms of, with us production-wise, we were looking for colours.
Studying some classical music in Dublin, and I went home to Donegal. I says, what will I do now? So I was hanging off the bar having a pint when two Germans came in, and they asked me, do you know of the band Clannad? I says, I'm one of them. So immediately they said to me, we just heard your first album and we bought it, and we'd like to take you to Germany for 23 cities. And I signed for everybody to go to Germany for 23 cities. And then we went back to the house and told everybody we're going.
This German trip was a group tour with other Irish artists, and the discovery of a bigger stage outside Ireland changed the course of their lives.
It completely opened the floodgates for us to be able to perform in Europe with our Gaelic songs. They didn't mind us singing in Gaelic at all, at all, at all.
We got a standing ovation now for singing Níl Noel the first time.
The Philharmonic Theatre in Berlin.
Yeah, and it was I who turned around and said, hey, we'll give it 2 or 3 more years.
Farewell World Tour for 2020 and 21 has been put on hold because of COVID-19.
I miss it when I'm not performing. I think all musicians, it's where you come to life, you know.
Today there's great excitement in the RDS in Dublin as they are back in business recording some of their favourite songs with the RTÉ Concert Orchestra.
This is a real treat for us, you know, to get to work with the orchestra, David Brophy, Gavin Murphy, you know, it's brilliant, you know.
They're the only group of musicians I've ever come across who, like, they have their own genre of music, Celtic music, you know. They started it, Celtic rock came after them, you know. And the challenge for me was to write something that was very fitting with what they did. All those beautiful lines were already there, so we're just floating on top of it, if you like.
Well, a lot of these songs they're performing for 30, 40, 50 years at this stage, but they still, for me and for any of us playing the orchestra, they're classics. Yeah, they're kind of timeless.
When Clannad decided to go professional in the 70s, they probably never imagined they'd still be creating new sounds 50 years later. Back then, the desire to rework old folk songs drove them on. After the success of their first German visit, they were keen to go back.
My dad's car, it was a cadet estate, and the double bass was strapped on the top of it, and the harp was in the back.
Go professional in the 70s, they probably never imagined they'd still be creating new sounds 50 years later. Back then, the desire to rework old folk songs drove them on. After the success of their first German visit, they were keen to go back.
My dad's car, it was a cadet estate, and the double bass was strapped on the top of it, and the harp was in the back, and we were all in it. I don't know, but 3 in the front, you know. Go figure. It was just mad.
Soon they got their own van thanks to Paul's granddad, Eo Dugan Ahad Noel.
My father, when he gave us the go-ahead, he sponsored us. There was nobody else. All these board filters and Gaelins and Udats and Gaels, there was no such thing as a grant them days. And he put the money up to get a wagon for us, PA, soundsman, and away you go and try it out. And Germany was our first market, bread and butter.
There was much more of an audience abroad. We realised that in mid-70s, by the time we went to Germany, France, we said, wow, these people are listening to us for a different reason. And it was easy to keep going back there, and also to say there's a future for us, you know.
Because we were a family, you know, my brothers, my uncles, and my uncles were just a couple of years older than myself, we had a unit, a strong unit, and that was probably important.
Now in big demand abroad, they continue to collect more folk songs and release more albums.
Clannad are folk superstars in every sense of the word, but most especially on the continent, where they play to literally hundreds of thousands of their fans each year. But no matter where they travel, each year they return to play in the pub where they first got together as a group, Teach Leo in the Donegal Gaeltacht. Bass player Ciarán Brennan, whose father Leo owns the pub, explains why they return, year in, year out.
We always like to come back to do a concert here once a year, because this area between Gweedore and Rannafast is the place where we get all the songs from, and we'd like to play the songs back to them with a different arrangement.
From their third album, Dolaman, in 1976, Clannad began to work with producer Nicky Ryan as they continued to expand and experiment with their sound. For their sixth album, Foim, released in 1982, younger sister Enya featured on some of the tracks before she and producer Nicky Ryan split with the band.
I hope you don't mind asking about your famous younger sister Enya. When did she actually join the band?
She left school in 78. No, 79 and till beginning of 82.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
nearly
right.
2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was great for me because it was like having another girl on the road because you know I was there always with the boys.
Yeah.
So and
we're experimenting with synthesizer that time, and it was quite technical for her and stuff, and it was a challenge. Then she wanted to do her own thing.
Yeah,
she picked up on the
very much
synthesizer thing a lot, presumably.
She did.
Well, she had done a lot of music and classical music, and her main instrument was the keyboard. So
Right.
she wanted to develop into that. So she's she worked very hard for where she's got to. And,
In a way, there were some songs that we composed around that time as well that had other kind of influences, and then she just wanted to go along with that ethereal type of song,
right?
And she took it to her stage, and fair dues to her.
We'd split with Nicky and Enya. They had a different plan there, so there was just a period of just settling there. But very, very quickly, we were asked to do the music to this iconic program at that point, and we wrote that song.
So how did Harry's Game come about?
Well, there was this book of my grandfather's that had Seanachla as Connacht, and I opened it somewhere along the line at Bas, which is death itself, and there it was, Imahai Ajukis the Danik Rio, as all things must pass. Imahai Shirashir, east and west will go. Imahai in Yellas and Rian, the moon and the stars will go.
And from that old Irish proverb came this.
Ciarán and I had worked out the different harmonies of Harry's Game for him, for myself, and for Moya. So there were 3 parts. But then, when we recorded it, the 3 of us sang my part about 5 times. So you've got 15 voices now singing my part. Then we sang Ciarán's part with his voice to the fore, and Moya and I tucked behind 5 or 10 times. And then Moya's voice, the beautiful thing about this is Moya's voice was the solitary thing. So she's cutting through this layer of other voices. And then we added, I think, a 4th part as well, which was coming just separate notes that were just flying off and stuff like that. Oh, it was quite a to-do.
We were never a political band. We kind of regarded ourselves as cultural. And coming from Donegal, we were too close to the north in that. So when we saw the rushes and we saw the what it was about, it really appealed to us because it was kind of 2 sides of the story. 2 men really on both sides of the kind of the situation in Northern Ireland, and they both die at the end. And it kind of sort of, nobody wins in a sense of war, really. So it was appealing to us in that way.
Good evening, it's my turn to introduce you to the big musical numbers, and this week at 11, the highest new entry is the theme from Harry's Game, and here to perform it is Clannad.
As the theme to Harry's Game surged up the UK charts, Clannad flew to London to appear on Top of the Pops.
There was a limo waiting for us. We were totally flabbergasted, you know, it was amazing. We were staying in the Hilton Hotel because the record company were sort of looking after us, of course. And sure, I remember, you know, jumping in and out of the limo, taking pictures of ourselves. It's like beyond your kind of comprehension of being somewhere that's completely outside our realm.
We were awed by it. You're arriving in a show that you've actually watched for the last 20 years, and to be part of it and to be in the dressing rooms, it was just a buzz. We're excited, you know.
For me, looking at the little girls down with their mini skirts, trying to dance with Fall All the Dough, Fall the Day, I said, what the hell are we doing here?
Was there any sense that might be a bit of backlash?
There was, of course. There was a lot from Fleet Street probing about our background. And the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland asked for a translation of Harry's Game. And I was glad I said East and West will go, that I didn't say North and South will go, as in the proverb.
Harry's Game climbed to number 5 in the British charts and was a game changer for Clannad. They signed a record contract with RTÉ, with the band insisting on the inclusion of songs of Gaeilge. There was also a huge shift towards writing new material and adopting a more electronic sound.
We did 6 albums of basically Gaelic songs that we learned from our grandparents, my mum, and people, local people. I think of it as an oak tree, and the roots were sort of laid down with all those 6 albums. And that's after the 6th album, Harry's Game happened. And it didn't matter what branches you put on the oak tree after that. That's the way I see it. And then we were able to explore.
So we wrote Magical Ring, then suddenly Robin of Sherwood, the whole Legend record, then McCalla, then Sirius over in LA, working with Steve Perry, working with Bruce Hornsby. And the development was fast.
The music for a major British drama TV series, Robin of Sherwood, won Clannad the BAFTA in 1985. The same year they released the critically acclaimed McCalla album, which featured this hit single with Bono.
He did a whole load of words that wove into some of the ones that Paul and Moya came up with. I said, will we put Paul Hewson or Bono down? And he says, no. He says, I'm going this way. I don't need that. I like the experience. So it was very kind of him.
Hello, the Clannads. How are you? Well, I must say, it's so good to speak to you tonight. I knew the Clannads before they could hum. Folly-doll-doll-da-doll-day. That's a good one. One thing about the Clannads. Success never changed them. What a pity. Must go.
Are you great pals with Bono?
Oh, very much so. I mean, I think that it goes back quite a while now that there's a lot of respect musically between the two bands. And they used to use Harry's Game, actually, and their shows, at the end of their shows, at the beginning of their shows, you know, and other songs as well.
Hello, I'd like to speak to the good people of Clannad. My name is Max Bisto, and I have some friends here that would like to sing you happy birthday.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hello, Moya, my old friend.
Hello, Mr. Macfisto. Lovely to see you.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Clannad. Happy birthday
Riding on their success, they released more albums and were in constant demand for concert tours and soundtracks.
This is an animation we're working on. It's called The Angel and the Soldier Boy. And it's due out in Christmas time. This is quite a challenge, this one, to actually do the atmospherics and all the movements in the animation to, as I said, to make it come to life.
After the band's lukewarm response to the LA-produced album Sirius in 1987, they astutely returned to more familiar ground with a successful compilation album, Past Present.
There is a certain element of Moya, isn't there, of the punters who were into the original Clannad sound that they knew, Harry's Game, wanting to hear that again.
Well, I don't know. There was a certain amount, but with the amount of sort of past, present albums and a lot of people getting into the traditional music, and they're coming up now, people that you'd never imagine would be into, I love that traditional song you sing, or I love the old Clannad stuff. But I don't think they would have heard the old Clannad stuff if we weren't doing the new stuff.
See your happy faces smiling at the door.
Despite the fame, the globe-trotting and the limelight, return visits to the home place were always a highlight.
The floor, and soon the teapot is filling up. Make up, that's far from small. Oh, your heart's alive, your mountains in the homes of Donegal.
I think coming back to Donegal all the time was what grounded us. And no matter what you saw, or whether you were on Top of the Pops or going to the BAFTA Awards and sitting there with superstars and actors and everything, you know, for 1 minute you can be kind of talky, you know, excited. But then you come back to Donegal, and being the eldest of 9 kids as well, they wouldn't allow you to be anything else except yourself.
In 1990, 5 became 4. 20 years after the band got together, Paul decides to leave.
It was relentless. It was a record tour. You never stopped. I felt that when we came to the end of Sirius, and then we were talking about the next project, and I thought that we didn't land Sirius as well as we wanted to. And then we were looking at what's the next thing. Past Present was the next thing. That was a best of almost, and we added a couple of tracks which we recorded in Real World in Peter Gabriel's studio. And at that point, he actually approached me to record some Chinese music. And my whole life kind of changed in that 2 years, because I thought I need to just take a back step here and just find music again, which I did.
I thought when Paul left, I thought the band would disband. I thought the record company would say, well, that's it. I know girls that came especially to see Paul on stage with his big long hair, and you know, and when he left, we thought, kaput.
Since the band were still contracted to release more new albums, there were big implications for Ciarán, who was now left to shoulder the full responsibility of the writing.
It wasn't easy just to write like that. And there are songs that I have written that I'm not that proud of, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, that's the way they came out.
Horns. Can you make it a 3-bar crescendo and a 1-bar decrescendo so that the quaver is louder?
In celebration of 50 years together, Clannad have joined with the RTÉ Concert Orchestra at the RDS to capture some of their favourite tunes and style.
They're a family. So little is said, Whereas I'm used to rehearsals where you work with bands or singer-songwriters, lots of things, they say lots of things to you. Clannad say very little to each other, and therefore very little to me. Like, they kind of, like, I say, well, what's going on here? And they go, do you not understand? Like, we're just doing it, like, you know. So they've played this stuff, like, for decades now. So it's like, I'm kind of feel like I'm led into the inner sanctum.
And for the band, hearing an orchestral arrangement of their songs is a different experience.
I have to be on my guard because I get carried away a little bit, kind of said, oh, that's amazing, and then I'm playing along with it.
Those songs bring you to a time, and they bring me back to Gweedore.
When Paul Brennan left the band in 1990 to concentrate on music of his own, Clannad continued as a four-piece. This period saw a run of Grammy nominations in 93 and 94, with the band winning that Grammy for Landmarks in 1998. After scooping this big award, Clannad took a 10-year break as members pursued solo projects. In 2007, they regrouped again as a foursome, without Paul, but he did join them on stage when they were honoured with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Meteors in Dublin.
We feel like very humbled by the whole thing, but it's about a dream in Donegal spreading, and it's about any person who has music or anything, just dream it and sing it. Thanks a lot.
That was a real moment that I was brought in. There was a great moment of celebration. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that was another moment for me. And, 3 or 4 years later, I did step back in. I did miss the actual stage thing. You grow up on stage and then, you miss it. It's in your DNA, It's part of you.
This is for Mum and Dad.
Sadly, in 2016, Leo Brennan passed away, father to Moya, Ciarán and Paul. This was followed a few weeks later by the death of their uncle and fellow band member, Pádraig Dugan, brother to Noel.
It was sad for me because he was my twin and we were very close. And outside music, we would talk about football, Gaelic or Glasgow Celtic. I lost that part of him, It's sad, but life must go on.
When I'm on stage, sometimes I can still hear him playing the mandolin, and, and singing and everything, and myself and Noel giving out to each other, and, you have those fantastic memories.
And when you're up there, he was up there beside you.
He was, the two of us we were together, looking at each other with every chord. He was looking at me, and we were bouncing off each other, to say it. Yeah.
And now it's just different.
It's just different.
Today in the RDS and for the upcoming Farewell World Tour, the band are joined by Moya's son Paul and daughter Aisling.
I was kind of brought into the band when unfortunately Pádraig passed away, and there was a bit of a gap in the band with Hughes as the mandolin player, and he played those top lead lines, and so I came in to kind of do that, and then a bit of guitar as well.
It's pretty magical, yeah. We've always known the family, obviously, our uncles and my mum. It's really nice to be a part of the whole thing and get to experience going on tour with Clannad, and it's very exciting.
Through the decades of fame and success, Clannad have constantly returned to their roots, drawing inspiration again and again from the well of cultural sources here. In recent years, 2 of the band members, Moya as well as her uncle Noel, have returned to Donegal to live.
Oh, on the bochelies, vielen. Oh, on the bochelies, vielen. Woo! Shinamad. I'm living in Lough now, and I have a little dog called Meenaleck, I call him. It's a word I made up myself. And I walk the lakes, the lakes in Lough with them, and I'm back again. The Ariel is out there looking down at me, and this is where we're bound to be.
You come here and you just can, it's like a cloak coming off, and just, it is very relaxing here. I love it here, and my heart is here. So, you'll find me here more often than anywhere else.
These days, Leo's Tavern is still in the family and continues to draw lots of visitors.
So, not only are they coming to see Leo's Tavern and to see where it all started, where Clannad began, there's a bonus, they meet the little brother.
I always tell the people that I'm the member of the family they left behind without the music, so if people expect me to sing, they get very disappointed,
And families sing songs here just happen to be bigger and better than anywhere else.
I love getting on the stage here. I'm here as often as I can. I'll do stints for Bartley. I'm here with a thing that I do that I've done now for 8 years, Club Yaw, which is a stage for young people. And that's really what my dad, he used to bring Daddy just wanted a stage for people to get up and join him. And whether you danced or said a poem or, sang a song. So for me to have young kids now getting up and either doing trad songs or cover version or their own songs, and it's once a month and it's going for 8 years and it's absolutely brilliant.
For Clannad Clonastor, 50 years on, they have survived on a journey that was always more instinctive than strategic, and they're not quite ready to exit the stage just yet.
We'll go around the world once more. We'll hang it up then. We will stop. We will do the odd, maybe one-off thing, but we will never tour.
Will you not?
No. We've already started the world tour, so we've kind of got that little bit of the lure. And we've released our anthology, which is a great set of songs.
I still get nervous before going on stage, but it is an anticipation of just before you walk onto the stage. As soon as you're out there and getting through the first song, it's just, you use your nerves to kind of relate it to the audience.
At 50 years on the road, I could never imagine that we're still doing more or less the same. New few songs. Yes, it's amazing.
We know what's involved and we're rehearsed, so we're ready to rock for the last time.